All right, so this video is specifically for middle-class Americans who have high auto insurance policy limits, and it's something vital that you really need to know. I've been learning a lot about auto insurance. One of my best friends is a claims adjuster. I love hearing all of his stories, and I'll even be on Reddit reading the R Insurance subreddit about all of the different factors that play into it. And one of the things that's really struck me is that in instances where lawyers get involved, because maybe you're a safe driver, but accidents do happen and you end up injuring another party, there could be multiple people in the car, is that if they do take out a lawyer, if a lawyer gets involved for the other party, they're always going to push for your policy limits. There are actually lawyers out there known as ambulance chasers who are looking for individuals who have high policy limits, because then they can wring as much money out of you as they possibly can. So if you have a $250,000 policy, which you really shouldn't, honestly, it needs to be about $300,000 these days with inflation. And $500,000 isn't even that much more expensive, okay? So the lawyers are going to go for that. And obviously, if your insurer ends up paying $500,000, that will probably affect your premiums going forwards after that. And really, the way to put the kibosh on that is to have a dash camera, because you would be shocked at the amount of people who will bald-face lie. Like maybe in the moment right after the accident, the other person did cause the accident, and they apologize to you. We're so sorry. This is our fault, blah, blah, blah. You exchange insurance information. Then they go tell their insurer something completely different, that they didn't cause the accident, you did, because they've had time to think about it, figure out some sort of convincing lie. If there are no witnesses, if the police just didn't show up for whatever reason, all you did was exchange information, it can sometimes be a he said, she said, we're 50%, 50%. The best way to really stop that is to have a dash camera. My friend told me some stories where the other person would have an ambulance chaser lawyer who was pushing for policy limits, and then he would review the footage. Maybe it was a rear end collision, and the other person is like, oh, my neck is screwed up, I can't work for 6 months, PTSD, just a whole bunch of kind of nonsense to inflate the costs. He would look at the accident. A lot of the dash cameras, they will capture how fast you're going during and after that, right up until the impact. And so he would be like, no, this wasn't a 50-mile-per-hour rear end. This was 15 miles per hour. We're going to pay out $25,000, maybe $50,000 max, but they're not going to get $500,000. They're not going to get $250,000. So it's these things that really are important in protecting you. And dash cameras are not expensive. You can get a really decent dash camera for about $150. Maybe $50 more to install. They connect to your car's battery. They continuously run. It's kind of like an install and forget it until a car accident actually occurs. So please do yourself a favor. If you have high policy limits, if you're rocking a $500 policy limit, get yourself a $200 camera install. Do it. Because that way, if something should happen, and probably in a lot of instances, if you have high policy limits, you recognize the dangers on the road and you're not some sort of insane speeder driving around like a maniac. So 9 times out of 10, you will not have caused the accident. But like I said, people can lie, and your protection is going to be that dash cam. So just remember that. Think about that. High policy limits should go with a dash cam. I really wish that more insurance agents would just tell people this, right? Like if you're going to take out a $500,000 policy, get that dash camera. All right, there you go. The more you know.